Happy Friday to you. I am Dawna and this is the Friday edition of Koffee Klatch with Spirit. And it's actually a feature that I started on Wednesday, but Facebook did not want to cooperate. At least my sound didn't want to cooperate. So hopefully today is better. But today I've been inspired to talk about enlightenment. Let me start by saying, though, that we are currently in the third quarter of the moon. And the energy of the moon at this time, we can experience upheavals. Things can come up to be released. Yasmin Boland says this is a time when crises can be experienced. But what it really is a time for us to address things. It's a time where lessons come up to be learned. And I am most certainly not immune to this. And we actually moved into this phase of the moon yesterday. And yeah, I'm not immune to it, but I'm aware of it. So things that come up that would be rocky or bumpy, I know the purpose behind them. I know that it's a lesson to be learned or an experience that shows me how far I've come and the lessons that I've learned in the past. It's almost an exam. But as a result, the topic of enlightenment is something that I'm being guided to discuss today. And we are not alone in this discussion. It's divinely inspired. Enlightenment, the word enlightenment, the notion of enlightenment has been severely overused lately. And what it looks to be enlightened, everybody has their different notions about what enlightenment is supposed to be. And in truth, I feel like there are a few that are enlightened here on earth. But not as plentiful as one would be made to believe. And so that brings me back to the question of what is enlightenment? What I feel enlightenment is, it is basically fully embodying that being that we are beyond. And I said this on Wednesday. I have a friend Karina, and she calls it the meat sack. So this is my meat sack, and it's our vessel. It is our conveyance in this lifetime. It is not actually who we are. Who we are is the energetic being within this meat suit. And my feeling is to be enlightened would be to fully embody the energetic being within us. So what's that mean? Basically, it means that we are the being, we become fully aware of the being that is walking around in this suit. Much like the space suit that an astronaut wears is not the astronaut. It's the being inside the spacesuit. So, have you seen Men in Black? I believe it's the first one, where there's that tiny little alien inside the human suit. It's along those lines. What we truly are is within this spacesuit, this biological spacesuit. It's not, we are not the biological spacesuit. We are what's in it. And I believe, I feel that being enlightened is being and living from that energetic being within. It could in some ways be synonymous with learning to be authentic, but I think it's still, I feel like it's still beyond that. It is learning to live our lives as the energetic being inside, not the conditioned human that we become over the course of our lifetime. Now, the energetic being that we are is not neither what we would consider male or female. It is a blend of those energies. Why do I say this? Because it has become popular belief that an enlightened being does not react in a certain way. And I am not professing to be enlightened. I am on the path. I'm still learning. I still make mistakes because I'm still human. However, there is a belief that being enlightened is rainbows, unicorns, and roses. That's not true. Each of us has an energetic being within that is balanced energy. The love, forgiveness, peace, nurturing, that's female. But we also have the protective, the driven, the sometimes warrior tendencies within us. The balance of energy within us softens that. So it doesn't mean that it goes away, that we're light, love, and peace and harmony, and that's it. No. We're a balance. We are going to establish boundaries. We are going to maintain boundaries. And it's male, female energy, a balance of it. And when we learn to balance that, soften the edges, but still learn to stand our ground, I feel that we're on the right track. It doesn't mean that we are doormats that allow ourselves to be walked upon, or have people-pleasing tendencies, or can be guilted into behaving a certain way, or have our actions guided by being guilted into it. Yeah. So enlightenment isn't what the majority of people believe it is. And a person cannot be steered into doing what someone else wants them to do by telling them their actions aren't very enlightened. So yeah. Okay, so those were my feelings and my thoughts. So what does Spirit want us to know about enlightenment? Three of Fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time. Make long-term plans. Fire. Okay. 4 of Air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. It is my feeling that enlightenment looks different for each individual. Why is that? Why can't we fit enlightenment into a human-made box? Because the feeling I get is that enlightenment is based upon, as I was saying, embodying our energetic being, being the being within that's driving the spacesuit, the biological spacesuit. And each of us is an individuation, a seed of source. Each of us embodies or vibrates different aspects of source. So even though in our most innate and purest form we are part of source, as individuations of source walking the earth in biological spacesuits, we are unique. Our vibrations are unique. Our energies are unique. That's why there's no one-size-fits-all enlightenment, because each of us is different. And when we truly get in touch with our innate divine being, that's when we become enlightened. And it looks different because we are individual, different, energetic beings. So I truly believe that when we start driving the spacesuit, instead of believing that we are the spacesuit, that's when we begin to be ourselves, our divine self here on earth. And that's when we step into our power. That's when we step into our light, thus enlightenment. So, these cards, how do these pertain to the question, what is enlightenment? 3 is the number mind, body, and spirit it's the Trinity. It's the Holy Trinity. And fire is energy. It is the spark of divine energy. And when we become our divine selves within this biological spacesuit, we do experience abundance, because we know that we are part of an abundant universe. It's when we are so stuck in being human and believing the illusions and giving up our power to others. That's when we block the abundance, whether we're aware of it or not. When we truly become ourselves, our lives are abundant in every way possible. Four of air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide the answers. When we go into meditation, we're able to connect with spirit. I like to call spirit Gus. God, universe, spirit. And Gus, if you've been with me for a while, you've heard me talk about Gus. But Gus is a shapeshifter. Gus will appear to me in my meditations in any form that I need it to appear in. Sometimes it'll be an old man. Sometimes it'll be a young woman. Sometimes it'll be an animal. Sometimes he'll appear, or it will appear to me as a young male waiter. Usually when I'm asking to manifest something in my life. It comes from a lesson that Latrell Ross taught me about manifestation. If we look at the process as if we were going to our favorite restaurant, we sit down, we look at the menu, our wait staff comes over to us, and we place our order. We ask for what we want, what we desire. Then we thank them. And as they leave, we know that it's already done, that all we have to do is wait, and it will be brought to us. Now, sometimes the restaurant gets busy. Sometimes there are other things going on. So maybe our meal or what we requested doesn't get to us as quickly as we would like. Or sometimes the special is, now I don't want to say that because it's always abundant. It will always come to us, but sometimes there's a delay. And one thing she said was, Latrell, what she said was, what would it be like if you asked your waiter or waitress every 5 minutes if your order was done? You would really get on the nerves of the wait staff. And you might even have your food spit in. But if you just relax, hang out with your friends, enjoy the moment, it will come to you. But, so I digress. It was a case of sometimes Gus shows up to me as a young male waiter. But, and that's sometimes it will appear to me as such in my meditations. And meditation, that's our way of connecting to spirit. I know a lot of people, myself included, have challenges with meditation sometimes, slowing down our minds enough, and even 10-15 minutes a day is helpful. During this third quarter of the moon, my pumpkin cup. During this third quarter of the moon, it's a good idea to actually meditate more. That's because there's so much more going on. A lot of releasing, a lot of challenging experiences. And when we meditate, we're able to connect with ourselves, our beings, with our spirits, our energetic beings are within. as well as spirit. So it looks like the question of what is enlightenment is changing to how do we get to it. And that goes back to this card too, the discussion of abundance. Have patience at this time, especially during this third quarter moon, because it can be bumpy. But what else does Gus want us to know about enlightenment? Nine of Air. Expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. So how the heck does that make its way in alignment with enlightenment? Because those things aren't enlightenment or enlightened. And why aren't they enlightened? Because expecting the worst are fears. And when we focus on our fears of what may happen, they become self-fulfilling prophecies. And often, I can tell you from experience, sleepless nights are from your brain or your mind running what-if scenarios. So that, I feel, is an example of what enlightenment isn't. Because when we get in touch with our inner divine being, when we fully embody and approach life as that being rather than the biological spacesuit, these things fall away, because we know that the human, through those things, is just buying into the belief in the illusion, the belief that we're powerless, and then we're not our truly divine and powerful being, or powerful selves. And I'm going to pick one more card. Ace of Fire, again with the fire. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Change your life now. Change can be overwhelming. We don't have to do it all at once. Just a step, a single step in the right direction can take us where we need to go. Even if they're baby steps, they're still steps forward. Granted, sometimes we take a couple steps back. But we always end up moving forward. So what I'm getting from this, from Spirit, is to see and notice how truly abundant you are in your life. Don't look at where you're not abundant. Look to those places where you are abundant or have been abundant. And by practicing gratitude for those things, we get in a vibration where those things come to us more. Take time out to connect with spirit on your own. Sometimes all it takes is meditation. And there are a lot of good meditations, guided meditations out there. And Insight Timer is a great app for that. So please excuse the background noise. We have virtual school today. So, and they do have to show up for the class. Let go of these things. In your path toward becoming enlightened or one with your divine inner being, your divine inner light, let go of the fears. You are more powerful than that. You really are. If you had any idea how powerful you were, yeah, you'd never fear again. So let go of the self-fulfilling prophecies and the sleepless nights. And change your life now. It's always available to us. It's always open. No matter if we've fallen out of the habits, we can still pick them up at any time. So that is today's edition of Koffee Klatch with Spirit. And I hope you will join me again for Monday, the Monday edition. It's no longer Monday messages. It's now Koffee Klatch with Spirit. And I hope to see you then. Until then, take care of yourself and be well.